Bear down, Bears fans. Today we're going to be previewing the Chicago Bears versus Kansas City Chiefs Week 1 preseason game. Football is back, and it starts right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago Bears daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Bears, how Bears talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Also, if you're getting ready for the season, make sure you cop some of the Bears merch on the website. Check the link in the description below, or just go over to twcbreeze.com. We appreciate all the support to the show. So, here's the thing, right? Bears taking on the Chiefs tomorrow. What are we looking for from this Bears team? What are we expecting? What are we hoping to see here? Now, we heard from Coach Flus yesterday. The Bears are only expected, the starters, I should say, are only expected to play about 15 to 20 plays. Some guys 10 to 15 plays. I'm assuming your bigger name starters are going to play about 10 to 15 plays. You'll probably see some of the younger guys or newer guys that are coming in play that 15 to 20 plays. But what are we hoping to see from the team in this situation, right? First and foremost, I've said this a couple of times, that I want to see is Justin Fields having time to get through his progression, because when we talk about those elite quarterbacks are able to not only go to their first and second read, but also get to their third read. So I really want to see kind of how Justin navigates through the pressure that's going to be coming at him, that the Chiefs are going to be bringing. You can more than likely expect a blitz on this team, because they're going to want to test that offensive line as well and see if they can get to Justin Fields or Trevor Siemian, whoever's back there. But really just being able to see kind of how Justin is able to navigate this new offense. We've heard a ton of good things about Justin Fields in this offense. We've heard that he seems to be very engaged, that he seems to be him and Luke Getsy's working relationship seems to be very strong, right? And that this is something that the Bears are really excited about, seeing how Justin's going to work in this offense. The other thing I do want to see is kind of how this offense is utilized, right? We've heard that this is going to be a run-heavy style offense. So how many passes is Justin Fields looking to get? How many times are they looking to throw the ball down the field? I don't know if you see all of that right in the first week of preseason. I could care less if the Bears win, but I don't know if you see all of that in the first week of preseason. But the thing that you really want to kind of try and focus in on is, okay, how often is Monty getting the ball? How often is Darnell getting the ball? How often is Khalil Herbert getting the ball, right? How often is Justin actually looking to put the ball up and throw it downfield? You'll probably see some of those things early, right? So I think those are things that you really want to key in on. Another thing for me that's exciting for me is kind of looking in at this wide receiver room and seeing what you have in that room, right? Now, listen, I don't know who all is going to be going or not. We're missing some guys for sure, but I think that one thing that I really want to see is how Darnell Mooney's gonna take over as the number one here. Is Equanimeous St. Brown as advertised? We keep hearing that, oh, he's having a great camp and he's balling out and he's the number one and he's showing out but it's also right, like, is he just ahead of the 8 ball? So some of the things that I want to see from the offensive side, one more thing that I did want to see from the offensive side of the ball is Braxton Jones as advertised? Is he the real deal? Is he going to be able to stand in there and be a starting left tackle day one? I think that puts a lot on Ryan Poles. That's a big feather in his cap. If the former offensive lineman comes in here year one and gets you your starting left tackle in his first draft in the 5th round, like those are things that you really want to clue in on, right? Everybody seems to believe that he is going to be that starter that we're going to love on this team, that he's able to attack very early, that Robert Quinn has had some difficulties against him. And so that's kind of why the Bears are feeling good about Braxton Jones at that position. But it doesn't just come down to that, right? I mean, listen, we've heard Tevin Jenkins is running with the 2s. We've heard Borum is running with the 2s. Why are they running with the 2s? I want to see what the protection looks like from those guys. Does Tevin Jenkins look good? Is he going to be able to dominate? Is he going to be able to fight for a spot on this starting offensive line? Because that's really where, even with everything that's happened here, I still want my talent on the field. I still want Tevin Jenkins on the field. I still want to see Tevin Jenkins playing with the ones. If he's got the talent, I want that talent out there. So another thing to watch out for, if you are one of those people that watches later into the preseason game, I usually tend to watch the entire preseason game. If you're the same way, let me know in the comments below. And if you watched to this point and you haven't dropped a bear down in the chat, drop a bear down in the chat and let me know how you guys are feeling about this preseason game. What are some things you're going to be watching for heading into this game? Another thing I really want to see from this Bears team on the defensive side of the ball is, are these DBs the real deal? I mean, listen, you're only going to get so many plays of Pat Mahomes if you get any plays of Pat Mahomes. He's only been in the league 5 years, but I feel like we've got so much, like he's to the point where you look at him and you're like, no, he's got it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, is he going to, it doesn't matter. It's Pat Mahomes, right? So, really excited to see how this defense is going to be able to fare against one of the top quarterbacks early on. Your starters, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. And the thing I'm focusing in most on, right, because it's all an inverse relationship. Of course, your DBs have to be good. Your safeties have to be good. But the thing that I'm focusing in on most outside of Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, just because they're the rookies on the team, I'm focusing on them. But for me, how is this defensive line going to get to the quarterback? Are you going to be able to flush Pat Mahomes out the pocket? Now, catching Pat Mahomes is kind of tough. If you're able to catch Pat Mahomes, I feel real good about it. But are you going to be able to flush the quarterback out the pocket? The one thing about the Chiefs defense, or offense, while yes, there is a drop off on the offensive side of the ball if Pat Mahomes is not in there, right? That's still a really good offense, though. That multiple Chiefs players have told you that offense is structured to be good no matter who's playing behind center, no matter who's the running back, no matter who's the receiver out there, right? It's just the system that works really well. And if you have really talented players in that, then you start winning championships. So you're going to see, right, kind of second option, third option. That offense is still going to be able to put up some points if you're a bad defense out there. So I really want to see kind of how this offensive line is going to be able to attack not only the first unit, but the second unit. And then outside of that, right, like, I think if you've got that defensive line built up, the rest of your defense will end up coming together because you'll be in the backfield of a lot of bad quarterbacks this season. A lot of bad quarterbacks this season. We're not going to get into the schedule right now, but a lot of bad quarterbacks this season. So I think that just makes your DB room better. It just makes your safeties better. It makes your linebackers better. And speaking of the linebackers, I think that's a very interesting point to key in on for the Chicago Bears. If Roquan Smith's not playing this season, or if he's holding in, or if he's not going to be a Chicago Bear this season, right? Where do you feel like you're going to find that next linebacker? You have 3 weeks now where, okay, let's hope we are able to find somebody who can play next to Nicholas Morrow, who's really a great number 2, but not really a number 1, right? So like there's all of that you have to look for. And that's really where I'm going to be focusing in on, probably most on the defense outside of that defensive line, just looking at what that linebacker depth looks like, how this team is going to be across the middle, right? We've seen seasons where over the middle, they just get eaten alive. How this team's going to be over the middle, and how much time they're giving quarterbacks for pressure. And then finally, right, I mean, listen, this is the first time we're going to see Coach Flus on the mic. This is the first time we're going to see Alan Williams as a DC. This is the first time we're going to see Luke Getsy as an OC. You have an entirely new unit. So the other thing that I want to key in on, how disciplined is this team? How quickly are they able to adapt to what's happening on the field? And how's the play calling going to be? How's it going to come in? Are they going to be able to adjust to what the defense is giving you? Those are all things that I feel like we haven't seen from a coaching staff. And now, I mean, let's see, it was Nagy, and then it was Fox, and then it was Tressman. 12 plus years. Yeah, I mean, like we've had coaches in here that just don't adjust well to what's happening on the field. And so, like, I think you're kind of I'm hoping that you're not in that same situation here that we've been in for years ahead of this. And so I think this is a good opportunity to see that early on, man. I don't really care if the Bears win or lose, but my prediction for the game, I'm going to go with a Bears win off rip, because who wants to sit there on a Saturday and watch your team get killed? I'm going to go with a Bears win off rip. I think the defense shows us a little something, especially on that defensive line. And I think you're going to get a nice 20 plays out of Justin Fields. Let me know your prediction for the game. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, right back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bird on. Peace.